Hey everybody, it's me, DaAuraWolf, and welcome to a new edition of Wolfy Reviews. In this edition of Wolfy Reviews, I'm going to be reviewing the latest entries in the Pokemon series, Pokemon X version and Pokemon Y version. To start off, these are the first mainstream Pokemon games that are in full 3D. Yes, the whole area is in 3D. No 2D, no sprites, none of that 2D stuff. And despite popular belief, these are not the first, say, Pokemon adventure games in which it was in 3D, but these are the first ones that were made by Game Freak and are part of the main series on handhelds. The first 3D Pokemon games that they ever made, and adventure-wise, was Colosseum, and then they made XD Gale of Darkness. Starting off, the plot of the game is basically you're in the Kalos region, which is a new region based upon France. In which the whole thing, just whenever playing through the story, it's almost, the way the story progresses is almost like, kind of like Earthbound. I do have to say, it's playing the story felt kind of Earthbound-ish like, but didn't lackluster a bit. Because as you progress through the story, basically, there's you, main playable character, the other playable character of the opposite gender is an NPC, and you have 3 friends. So it's about an adventure about friendship and all that stuff. But you gotta encounter this villainous team called Team Flare, in which originally I thought they were a bunch of goofballs that did not know what they was doing. And then whenever it came to the plot about that they was going to use Eviltool and Xerneas' powers to basically annihilate the world, I was like, wait, what? In which, honestly, I'd say it just kind of unpredicted. It was kind of unpredictable. But I'd say it was still good. The main narrative was nice. It was pretty good. It had a very, like I said, Earthbound-like feel, which was, it starts off super happy, sunshiny, and cheery, and then it gets dark at the end. Though I do have some complaints about X and Y, which is kind of interesting. Okay, the first complaint about X and Y that I have is the Exp Share in this game. I know it's a love-hate type of thing, but if you're trying to build teams and you have like a level 15 Pokemon and you just got a level 3 Pokemon, the level 15 is still going to go up in levels, in which the 3 is trying to stay there, and it gets all confusing and crazy. But if you're trying to use the XP Share for, say, gaining levels and trying to fill out your Pokedex, that is alright. The next thing I have to say that I had to complain about was the artificial intelligence. And by the way, compared to previous gens like Black 2, White 2, X and Y's artificial intelligence was flat stupid. And the battles just felt so easy, in which I could just Luigi it and I could just win. Like, I could send out a Ditto or something like that and just mash A all the time and send out against somebody else, an artificial intelligent opponent, and I could have beat them. Another thing that I did not like about X and Y is something that I think that was alright, but would have taken a little bit more time to work on, is that the trainers, they don't have no, since we're out of sprites, you thought we're going to have like full 3D models for the trainers, because Colosseum had it, XD had it, But no. In X and Y, artwork. Artwork. In which I would have felt okay if it was just the main trainers. Like the main, like your, not the main trainers, but like the main regular enemies. Not enemies, I meant like the trainers you come across. But they had the gym leaders, too. And the Elite Four. And the champion. In which it's nothing likely because it's about the same way as you would have said about Black and White, because there was animated sprites for the animated 3-frame trainer sprites or something like that for your two rivals and in Black and White. And then they upgraded into Black 2, White 2, in which they had, every trainer had that same sprite. In which, I can let that slide. The only trainers that had 3D models in X and Y were both the playable characters, you, and the hatless version of the other playable character, the hat. And what I mean hatless, they had no hat on. Then you had your 3 friends, they also had a 3D model. Professor Sycamore, whenever he was battling them. Team Flare Grunts, their admins, and Lysandre. And that's about it on the negative part. Pokemonomy was okay, cool addition. I liked it. It felt like Pokemon Nintendogs that actually had something very rewarding for you in-game. And the super training was great. I liked it. And I like to see it back because it makes effort value training a lot more easier. I could let that thing slide on the Exp Share too, because I could have just turned it off. So yeah, that's okay. Makes it easier. Now on some things I'd like to talk about X and Y in which that I liked. Okay, some of you might not know, but in the originals Red and Blue, or Green, you can add green in there, you were going to be able to battle Professor Oak. Well, they brought this back. And they actually allowed you to do it this time, in which you got to battle against a professor, which 2 thumbs up on that. Though the only thing that I didn't like about that is because basically that the only Pokemon Professor Sycamore had and used in the battle is basically your first battle you had against him was the base forms of the Kanto starters. And then a little bit later on in the game, you only had to face him with the 3 final forms of the starters. Which is okay, alright. Though I do have to say, they could have made the 3rd battle and could have just given him a great super secret final boss like type of battle. But we could save that for Z or X2, Y2, XY, XXXY, or whatever you want to call it. XX, XY. It'll be kind of fitting if they want to continue us on with the chromosome type of thing. So okay, and the final thing that I'd like to mention before I give my score is the post-game. I want to talk about the post-game. There was only one thing to do in the post game. One. There was the Battle Chateau, which was pretty cool, I have to say, but only one thing, which was the Looker quest, which I think I like that, because Looker was an awesome NPC. from Platinum, and I'm glad that he got to come back for X and Y and also Black and White. Okay, on the review for X and Y, 1 out of 10, I'd say I'm going to give Pokemon X and Y an 8 out of 10. The reason why I gave it an 8 out of 10 is, yeah, it's good, but at times it just felt kind of empty, kind of easy, and it was a good try. I'm going to say it was a good try, and by Game Freak on making their first full-fledged 3D Pokemon game. I also like the trainer customization, in which basically you could make your character look exactly like you, which I do have to applaud them on that. Online was good. From what I've seen, I've not actually tried out the Street Pass, but from what I've heard, Street Pass was weak. It's first attempt, though, 3D, that's pretty good. But I do have to say, at least these are a notch higher, or two higher, than Diamond and Pearl. So that is it for this edition of Wolfy Reviews. If you like this video, you can like and subscribe. And that's all for today. And thank y'all for watching. This has been DaAuraWolf. And I'll see you back next time on another edition of Wolfy Reviews. Bye!